Well guys, forgive me, I haven't made a video in quite some time. Almost a month. We've had some family things go on and that's drawn our attention away from, this kind of fun and excitement. But I felt I owed you guys a little bit of an update. A little something I'm working on. I haven't got the rebuild kit yet for the NV3500. There's really no purpose. Not so much of a purpose, no urgency. I don't really see a need to spend 150 bucks on a spare transmission at this time. Eventually I'll cough up the coin for the rebuild kit. But one thing I'm going to focus on here is the S10. Nothing serious. It's the valley cover's puking. A little bit from the front and then it's running down the back. Something I should have addressed like 3 or 4 years ago when I got the engine, but laziness takes over. And then I can also show you guys the inner workings of a lot of new fellas that want to just run a simple carbureted setup. How simple basically the setup is. I mean, I'm going to have to remove the intake and the ignition box and all that stuff anyway, so. But first I'm going to show you what I'm going to use to replace the gasket and the valley cover. So I bought one of these eBay top-end gasket sets, not expecting it to be an incredible quality piece. I wanted to buy them, for one, because of the price, they're cheap, and for two, they were going to end up on my spare 5.3 anyways. So I'm really not too concerned about quality because it's a guinea pig engine. La la la. But it's so funny, they're like, they put some fancy name and some like racing flags, and just read the description. Make your car engine ride stronger. Okay, I'll take your word for it. And I got this valley cover from, I think it's Street Rays. No knock sensor holes because in a carb setup you don't run knock sensors. And the fasteners they gave you too are like the pan heads or whatever. But you notice how they just throw them in the box. I had to count them to make sure they're all here. They couldn't put them in a nice little dope bag or whatever, so it's one thing to keep in consideration, but you get what you pay for. So I'm going to start disconnecting some things here. Well, there it is, just like that. Came off with minimal fuss, except I broke plastic titty off my map sensor. Not a big deal because I have 4 or 5 spare intakes laying around with said map sensor. So now I'm going to remove the knock sensors. I found the socket that'll work. It's probably metric, but 7/8 just works perfectly fine. Gen 4 engines have them on the side of the block. Gen 3 are in the valley, obviously. I will not be needing the trash with them. And now just 10 millimeter to remove. This other step is completely optional but recommended anytime you do an intake or you're pulling a motor apart. Run the shop vac through just to make sure you're not going to drop any dirt into the intake runners or into the valley. Just a little bit of extra protection for what we're doing here. Be careful where you pry, but now the valley plate should just come right up. You're just fighting the seals. And just like that, here we are. These seals are very commonplace to leak on Gen 3 motors. So this Chinese top-end kit comes with a generic ultra gray Permatex-ish RTV stuff. Now, I've used this stuff in the past, and you want to know something? it works pretty good. So this kit, all I'm using is the Valley cover. This was like 46 bucks. Comes with the new truck carrier style gaskets, new valve seals, your knock sensor grommets, more valve seals, your little water pump or your transfer tube or whatever you call that, steam vent seals, all kinds of O-rings, injector O-rings, throttle body gasket, exhaust donut gasket. I was not expecting that. Ooh, and updated lead composite exhaust gaskets, none of the other junk crappy ones. Multi-layer head gaskets too. 4853, made out of stainless steel. I wonder how these are going to perform. I guess I'll find out, but for what I'm doing on this thing, this is the only gasket I need right now. There she is, all in place. Nice clean look. Flush Allen head bolt securing it down. No more worries about leaks from the knock sensor area. Had I ran a fuel injection setup with the factory style ECU and whatnot, I probably would have kept it, but for what I'm doing, and if I do convert this thing to fuel injection in the future, I will be running like a Mega Squirt setup. So nice clean look, nice clean install. Now I'm going to get that intake carb spark box combo back in place. So here we go. And here's where I'm at with it. Valley cover looks really nice. Choke setting is pretty good. Throttle link is back on. One tip I'm going to recommend to you guys, if you're going to do a carb setup and you're going to run an Edelbrock intake, definitely run their transmission and throttle bracket. If you run a Demon, the bracket that comes with that kit, or I'm sorry, the one you have to order, the separate one, does not allow your throttle to open up all the way. Opens up like 70% unless you get an adjustable throttle bracket or a throttle cable. So use the Edelbrock throttle bracket for the setup. Nice plug back in. Just gotta fire it up and make sure nothing leaks.